Hiya guys.
Well, hello, beautiful.
Thank you so much for coming today to watch this video. Today we're going to be taking a little look at the Originals Epic Choir, which is really good. I think it's really well rounded. There are already a couple of videos up, especially the walkthrough that Spitfire have done. You know, just go over and just watch that if you haven't seen it. It's really good, really in depth, and for £30, it's a really good library to have. Yeah. So before we jump into it, let's just get into get the niceties out of the way. If you'd like to like and subscribe. And maybe join the Discord as well if you want to join a flourishing community of incredible people. Done. Yeah, it'd be fantastic to have you there. And let's just take a little bit of a look at the choir. And then at the end of the video, what I'll do is I'll let you have a full listen to the demo track that's created here. First, we'll just take a listen to the choir. Here you can see that I've opted soprano and alto, tenor and bass, and they're just doing 4-part harmonies. Do, re, gone. Let's take a little bit of a listen at the intro so you can hear what I'm actually doing musically. So first off, what I want to say is that this library is a dream to work with.
It's a reason to smile.
So if I open up the Originals tab here, you can see that I've added the close-up a little bit more because I really like that visceral sound. Oh. But it does help, especially when you're moving from note to note, because there's no transitions in this library. There's no legato. Yeah, like that, you know, that's fine. I would not expect it on a £30 library. Okay, so let's take a listen to the R's as well. So the one thing I really liked about this part is they basically picked, I think it was like 7 or 9 syllables, I can't remember. And they just did a really good job at those.
That's a good job.
So, you know, it's not as in-depth as some of the libraries that you might have access to, but it's one of those libraries I think that just gets the job done. There's going to be lots of repeats every now and again, but that's okay. It doesn't actually sound bad at all. It sounds more structured. Yeah, I think that's my take on it, is that if you want a very structured syllable sound, then that's what you're going to get from this library. It's like a, you know, no thrills kind of thing, epic sound, just for when you need to add a little bit of something else in there. Yeah, and I think what they've also done, especially with the Originals, it's like an introduction to some things as well. And it's really big and huge, and I really like that actually. The one thing I haven't actually shown you is these long episodic combos, and we can take a little listen to this section. Yeah, so I think that's really good, really evolving sound. The sound is evolving, isn't it? It's being shaped, which is really cool. Okay, so what I want to do now is take a little look at a choir that I created just from my own voice to kind of see if I can get close to the Epic Choir. And then we'll ask ourselves whether the Epic Choir is better. So let's take a little bit of a look, shall we? Okay, first of all, I did some staccatos just because I had this idea here that I just wanted to add my own flair on, and then what I could do is sing some different syllables and then reintroduce it later on. As you can see there in this last section, I add it in 3 times, and essentially that it's there just to break up the mundanity of what we've already been listening to in the previous section, because it's near enough a copy and paste job. These are things that we need to consider when we're actually writing. Is it going to get boring? Do we need to add things? This is what this sounds like. Okay, so you can hear there, because it's supposed to be in the background, what I've done is I've over compressed those vocals. What that does then is it flattens down that dynamic range enough so that I can push it back as well. And then I've also used a transient shaper, but that was essentially because this is an orchestral track, a hybrid orchestral track, so there's lots of other things in there that actually need to take center stage. This is just an appetizer for what's to come. So let's now take a little listen to the vocal choir. Yeah. So the one thing that you can notice there is that the swell just sounds so much more natural, and that's because we're not crossfading between samples like we would be doing in the Epic Choir, which is probably only limited to a couple of dynamic layers and then maybe 9 loops that they're looping in between as well, so it doesn't sound as stagnant. That I think that's the pro to recording your live vocals. The con is the fact that when you're doing it, it took me all of 3 minutes to record all of those parts in the Epic Choir, which is phenomenal. It's a huge time saver. To do those 25 vocals, it probably took me 40 minutes to record them all. Then it took 15 minutes to time align them, 15 minutes to tune them. Then it's like compression and EQ. And if I just show you how much work I did here, that's another 10 minutes. But these are all grouped as well, so that does help. So you can see there, tenors are in group 1. There are things that you can do to speed up that process, but all in all, it was a little over an hour to record and process them all. 3 minutes in comparison to an hour, and that is why I didn't do the whole track. Now, what I actually think is the best of both worlds is layering real vocals with samples. Also, what I've loved is having a choir that I can actually record and then use that as the scratch track. That's been really good, because usually I have to do a really dodgy sing out what I want to do, and then I sing the nice part over it, a couple of times until it's all done. In conclusion, I don't think one is better than the other. I think actually to get a very, very good result, what you can do is you can record both your own vocals and use the Epic Choir or any other choir really to push the final result to the next level. So I think just one of these on their own, I might have had to have done a little bit more EQ maybe on my own to really kind of push it up even further, maybe even done another 10, 20, 30 layers of my own voice, and then really blended them in and put another 2 or 3 hours in, which is great. It's fine if that's what you're going for, if you just want to create something on your own. But I don't necessarily think that you have to be able to sing really well either to create a result like this. I think that really you just need to know how to warp the sound that's coming out of your mouth. So there were times when I was singing that and I was going, oh,
Jesus, God, no.
Or, oh, and then moving away from the microphone, moving to the side of the microphone, singing behind the microphone here. Those things all add up to a final result within a choir that's varied, especially if you're just singing on your own. I think it does help if you're able to use specific techniques such as falsetto for the female parts, or you're able to change the chamber shape within your mouth a little bit more freely. That can also determine whether you've got a really varied sound or not. On some of the tracks, just to give that a little bit extra change, I've got the vocal bender on it, which I've just changed the formant and then I've put in a 50-50 mix. But essentially what that means is that I've got, yes, a little bit more of a digitally processed sound, but it's underneath what's already there supporting. Yeah, so I think that's my take on everything that we've listened to here. I hope that was useful for you. And if you're thinking about doing your own vocals and you want a little bit of support in that, please just join the Discord. I'd be happy to give you any tips, any tricks, any support, just like, even if it's just moral, I'm here. So yeah, thank you very much. And we'll see you in the next video.